All right, let's talk about something that drives every single developer crazy at some point. We're going to tackle that headache today and give you a new superpower for your toolkit. We're going to make sure that the code you write runs anywhere, every single time.
Okay, so let's dive in. Picture this. You've got a project you've been working on. It's a neat little Python application, maybe a simple FastAPI project, and it's working. You're feeling good about it.
You have your application logic, your baby, right there in main.py. And you've done the right thing. You've managed your dependencies with a pyproject.toml file, and you've even locked in the exact versions with the uva lock file. You're following all the best practices. So you hit run, and on your machine, it's flawless. It just works. But here's the thing, and we've all been there. The real challenge starts the second you try to hand it off to someone else or, deploy it to a server. And this brings us to that classic, all too familiar moment of pain, the one phrase that echoes in our nightmares and our team meetings. But it works on my machine.
So why does this happen? Well, think about it. Your machine is a cozy, perfect little environment. You've got Python 3.12, all the right packages installed, everything is predictable. But another machine, it might have Python 3.10, or maybe it's missing a crucial library. That chaos, that mismatch, that's what we call dependency hell. And it's not a fun place to be.
So how do we escape this? The solution is to change our thinking. We need to stop shipping just our code and instead ship the entire environment. I'm talking about a complete package with your app, all its dependencies, and even the operating system, all bundled together in one perfect little box. And the way we create this box is by writing a Dockerfile. You should literally think of this as a recipe. It's just a simple text file that gives a tool called Docker step-by-step instructions on how to build a perfect, isolated home for your code. So let's do it. Let's write this recipe together, one line at a time. I promise, it's a lot simpler than you might think. Every recipe needs a base, right? We're not starting completely from scratch. The from instruction tells Docker to grab an official, pre-made Python image to start with. We're using the slim version because it's nice and lightweight. It's basically a minimal Linux operating system with Python already good to go. Next, we use workdir. This is just us creating a clean little folder inside our container. We'll call it /app. And it tells Docker, hey, from now on, let's do everything inside this folder. It just keeps things nice and organized. Okay, now this next part is a really clever pro tip. We use the copy command, but we only copy the dependency files over first, just the toml and the lock file. This is a neat trick that takes advantage of how Docker caches things, and it'll make our builds way faster down the line. So with our dependency lists inside the container, we use the run command to actually install them. We're using UV sync here, and that -frozen flag is crucial. It tells the installer, hey, don't guess, install the exact versions specified in that lock file. This is what guarantees that perfect consistency. See, only after the entire environment is built and all our dependencies are installed do we copy our actual application code over. This copy ... command is shorthand for copy everything from where I am right now into the container's current folder. And finally, the last step, we need to tell the container what to do when it actually starts. The CMD instruction sets the default command, and for us, that's the command to fire up our FastAPI server. And that's it. Our whole recipe is done. All right, our recipe is written. Now it's time for the fun part, baking our image and then actually bringing our application to life inside a running container. First thing you do is pop open your terminal and run docker build. Docker reads that recipe of ours, the Dockerfile, and creates what's called an image. You can think of this image as a frozen blueprint of our entire application and its world. Then, with that image build, we use docker run to launch a container from it. The container is the real live running version of the image. That little -p 8000 to 8000 part is super important. It's like opening a window from our own machine's port 8000 directly to the container's port 8000 so we can see our app in a browser. Now, this is fantastic for shipping the final product, but what about when you're still developing? You're changing code constantly. You can't possibly rebuild the entire image every time you fix a typo, right? That would slow you down to a crawl. There has to be a better way. And, of course, there is. For development, we use this magical feature called a bind mount. What it does is create a live, two-way sync between your project folder on your machine and the code folder inside the running container. It's like a portal. So check out this workflow, it's beautiful. You edit main.py in your favorite code editor. Instantly, thanks to the bind mount, that file is updated inside the container. Your development server sees the change and reloads itself automatically. All you have to do is refresh your browser and boom, your changes are live. No rebuilding, it's an absolute game changer. So, by understanding this process, you've just unlocked one of the most fundamental skills for any modern developer. This is so much more than just a cool trick. I mean, really think about what you've gained. First, consistency. The works on my machine problem is just gone. Portability. You can run this on a Mac, a Windows PC, a cloud server, anywhere. Isolation. No more worrying that one project's dependencies will mess up another. And maybe the best one, collaboration is suddenly so easy. A new teammate can be up and running with a single command. And when you're finally ready to share your work, you just run a command like Docker push. This sends your image up to a central place, like Docker Hub. From there, anyone or any server anywhere in the world can pull it down and run it, knowing it will work perfectly. So you can now take any application and package it so it runs reliably, anywhere, every single time. That's a real power. The only question left is, what incredible thing are you going to build and share with the world next?